Fortunately, when I was hanging out clothes earlier, due to me like going over and talking to Claire at the window, which is not something I normally do, that was apparently enough to confuse me enough that I then tripped over like the big step in the garden and really fucked up my knee, smacking it on the ground, like cut both my arms and my hands and bleeding all over the place. Is dreadful.
Michael.
So I'm sitting here with a massive open wound on my leg.
Oh, horrible.
He's like a 6-year-old with a skint knee. It's really funny. It's very sweet.
Although it's such an old man thing to happen.
Exactly.
I don't think
while you're hanging up the washing, go and talk to your wife at the window and just have a fall in the garden over nothing.
Exactly.
I don't think he's at the stage where he had a fall.
It really hurt.
Oh no. One knee is very sunburned, so we're all having knee problems.
Yeah. How are your knees, Fernando?
Sunburnt as well. Yes.
Really?
Wow.
Well, probably not. But I wanted them to be sunburned.
You're out of the sunburned knee club.
Yes, I'm not part of that club.
I don't have injured knees. I have a headache. Does that help?
This is good. We should start every episode by cataloguing our ailments.
Yeah.
I like it.
Now that we are on the record, I would like to say that I'm sorry that I'm late, but happy belated birthday, Laura. I thought that the reason you were in Prague was that you were taking a birthday trip. Is it at least partially the reason?
I'm pretending it's a bit of a birthday. It sort of had nothing to do with my birthday, but now that I'm here, I'm like, well, I may as well have another bowl of pasta.
What's Prague like?
It's like a fairy tale.
Wow.
It might be the nicest looking city I've ever been in.
It's like a fairy tale fucking town.
From something?
Yeah, what's it from?
In Bruges.
In Bruges.
Oh.
What do you mean it's not his fucking thing? It's a fucking fairy tale town. How can that not be your fucking thing?
Oh, I liked In Bruges.
Yeah, so it's nice. I've seen like pictures of it in the past and it looked gorgeous.
It is very nice. I'm sort of wasting my time here because I came here, wandered around. I had a beer. Everyone was drinking the same kind of beer.
Yeah.
So I had one of
Pilsner.
Yes, it was Pilsner. And then that made me feel like I needed to take a big nap. So I spent the afternoon napping.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'm reading Miss Marple because I accidentally brought a Miss Marple book instead of a Poirot. And,
oh, no.
But it's great. I love
Is it
Miss
set
Marple.
in Prague or anything like that?
No, it's set in Chipping Cleghorn.
Wow, that's so good.
Basically Prague. The Prague of southern England.
I'm just searching Prague Agatha Christie. No, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, well.
It's all allegorical, isn't
it? Maybe.
All the stories happen everywhere.
Yeah.
Quantum mysteries.
Should we have a meeting?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Nice. All present and correct?
All present.
And correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm correct.
Very good.
Fernando, you picked Nosotros los Pobres.
Indeed, I did.
¿Por qué?
Why? Well, I thought it was going to be something different, and well, I thought it was choosing something similar to "So Long, My Son," but then it wasn't.
I don't know what's different.
Well, yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, maybe it was, except it was more like a telenovela than a film, I guess. Or maybe it was both. It was both. It was a telenovela and a film combined.
Yeah, I think it hit on a lot of the same themes. A slightly different way it was directed, that's for sure. A little less naturalistic, but did you enjoy it?
I did, yes. I mean, once I understood what I was watching, I was like, well, maybe I should just enjoy it for what it is, and yeah, I did. I think I did.
Yeah, cool.
What did you all think of it? Did you like it?
I'm going to go straight in and say I thought it was brilliant. I thought
wow.
It was an excellent film. I really liked it. It was a touching and charming story from an age of cinema that we may have lost, and if we have, it's a sad thing. An age of entertainment and joy in filmmaking, and an age that seemed to remember the stage more than it remembered the fact that it was making a film. I don't know. I thought it was wonderfully uncomplicated and I'm struggling for words. It was uncynical, beautifully uncynical, and I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a really, really nice film with some great performances, some great actors, and characters I really cared about, despite the maybe over dramatic nature of it at times. And that's what I think, and I will fight anyone who doesn't like it. What did you think, Laura?
I don't think I liked it.
Oh.
I didn't know. That's not true. I did really enjoy the first half because I thought it was going to be like another So Long My Son, and then when they started singing, I was like, brilliant. This is great. I'm so happy about this. Oh god, things took a turn though, and then it was difficult to watch. I was like, this is like another Gaslight where I'm starting to not enjoy it because I'm like, I just want it to end. When is things going to work out? Oh my god, everything's going from bad to worse. Old lady was beaten to death.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I was like, fucking hell, I didn't expect it to go here.
Yeah, they weren't messing around.
Yeah. But now a few days have passed. I look back on it more fondly. Like I do. I did enjoy myself, and I got really wrapped up in the drama.
Yeah. Okay.
Too much so, where I was like, that fucking Pepe. I hate Pepe. Was it Pepe?
Oh, you didn't like Pepe?
Pepe's the main
character?
No, I thought it was awful.
All women love Pepe.
Well, women love Pepe.
The women and I loved Pepe.
Well, yeah, ought to bloody check yourself, Michael. He's a walking red flag.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have some discussion about that.
Is that why he was called the Bull?
Yeah, there we are. What did you think, Claire?
I'm scared to say now, because you might actually fight me.
I'm in Prague, you're in the same house.
There are 2 closed doors between us. Just eyeing up the exit. I thought it was pretty good. With hindsight, I'm liking it more. I thought it was alright. With hindsight, it was a bit better, but still not amazing. So it went from, like on a clock face, because Michael loves a clock face as a scale. It went from about 3 o'clock to about 2 o'clock.
Yeah, so it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
What was your journey like when you were watching it? How did you feel when it started and progressed?
Yeah, so I was mostly confused for the first half. I couldn't quite pinpoint the tone. I think the 2 drunk women helped settle me into this is maybe not a farce, but there's definitely comedy going on here. But then I felt cheated because I'd been like, oh great, it's a comedy, and then it was just heartbreaking. Yeah. I was like, well, as you say, that was a real gaslight. It was like we'll build you up and then we'll just smack you down.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a journey watching it. I went through a lot of emotions. Some of them directed towards the film and how it was treating me.
Same, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I found the characters engaging despite their melodrama, which was good. because I can get lost quite quickly if I don't engage with the characters. And melodramatic characters tend to be difficult to engage with. So they got away with that one somehow. Yeah.
Great.
Good. Fine.
Excellent.
In summary.
How would you describe what happened? I know we're not doing this as a regular segment, but it was a slowly unfolding sort of plot. I think the first hour was quite just set up in a good way. Like we were just exploring the characters' lives and dynamics.
Yeah, and it was all set to just be young girl doesn't like woman falling in love with her father.
Yeah.
Comes to terms with it somehow, everyone lives happily ever after. There was a real, simple get out there.
Yeah.
And then...
And they did so much more with it.
Yeah, destroyed the guy's life.
It felt like they had sort of said to everyone, oh yeah, come and watch a nice, fun family film like Annie, Get Your Gun or whatever. And then suddenly they've been like, got you sitting down, you've paid for a ticket, now you're going to learn about the plight of the oppressed worker, and you're going to actually think a bit about the way that we structure society and about how it affects people, and you're not allowed to look away, you've got to deal with this because this is important stuff, and we'll give you a few laughs along the way, we'll do our best to keep you along with it, but settle down because this is going to be a hell of a film, is what they said. And I think that's great. I think they really delivered it in many ways. It reminded me of Les Miserables. This whole idea that kind of at its core, it's a story about a few individuals and their relationships. There's someone falling in love. There's someone who's jealous as a sort of third wheel. There's a man who's trying to do his best by his daughter. These stories of responsibility and love and care and these kinds of things, and a couple of villains trying to get rich along the way. And at the same time, there's this huge background of just social injustice, and that the entire political system of a country is being unexpectedly brought into question by how these characters are experiencing it. And I thought Les Miserables did that wonderfully, and I thought this had a pretty solid crack at it as well. As you said, it was just so tragic what Pepe had to go through, and by extension what Chachita and the grandma had to go through, and Yolanda, and everybody had a rough time in this film, and it and I think the fact that we'd spent some time just getting into their love life and stuff made it all the more evocative when it was like, this guy, he's your best friend, and this little girl that you want to give her a hug and tell her everything's going to be okay. Well, they're the ones who are being let down by an unjust system and an uncaring state. And I thought that did a really good job.
Oh God, you should write the marketing for this film.
Well, I couldn't say that in the marketing. The marketing just needs to be like, it'll be great fun. Come along, bring all your family. There'll be cute, good songs. There's a cute little girl.
Do you think
there's
that's how Les Mis marketed
main character.
Les Mis
no,
was
maybe
like,
not. It's literally called Les Miserables. I do think it sort of did, in the sense that it was. I take it was like a serial, like the Dickens novels, right? It was. It hooks you in by making you care about the character, and you want to know what's going to happen to Jean Valjean next. Is he going to escape from the convent or whatever? And it's really only along the way that you see this whole great thing.
Yeah, a good comparison. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
Should we talk about the characters then?
Why not?
Unless, I don't know if there's...
I think we should talk about the characters.
Yeah, well, I think I get what you're saying about the wider stage of society. I think I was too focused on the intimate family drama, and then just got angry at the side characters without thinking about the wider social which is a terrible thing to admit as an anthropologist. I was just like, well, there's nothing going on there. Sure, they're just repossessing all of his furniture. I don't know, they're just throwing him in prison for forever.
How is this going to affect individual relationships? That's a psychologist's attitude, Laura.
I'm in the wrong field.
I think you could be forgiven for that because it's what the film was kind of focusing it on. It didn't do the Mutiny on the Bounty. Now read this title card about how this is all about empire and what you're supposed to take from this. It just said this man is very sad, this girl is very upset. It showed every single thing that happened. It showed the toll that it took on real people, and that was well done. Well done. Do I get a star?
So I think we need to get into Pepe's character, though. It sounds like there might be
Pepe el Toro.
Pepe el Toro.
Did we like him? Fernando, did you like him?
Yes, I was going to start this episode by saying, who is Michael Young in the picture? And I thought you were Pepe el Toro.
Oh, please let me be Pepe el Toro.
I don't think any of us were Pepe del Toro.
Wow. Okay, so what was Pepe el Toro like? I liked him. Fernando liked him. Maybe, Laura, you could tell us what you thought of him?
I thought that he was manipulative.
He was manipulative.
He had a short fuse.
Short fuse?
He literally smacked his daughter in the face at one point.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah, it was the most terribly flawed thing he did in the whole thing, and he never stopped being terribly sorry for it, right?
Well, that's a classic abuser, isn't it? I'm being facetious, but still, I never forgave him.
Well, he did, that was a motif throughout the rest of the film, though, wasn't it? Because he punched the wall so hard. He had this sustained injury as a constant reminder of the terrible thing he'd done.
Exactly.
Like a physical reminder of it. We knew that he was plagued by it emotionally because we had this visual cue.
Yeah.
That's all well and good.
Yep.
But I don't forgive.
Thank you.
As well you may not. We shouldn't just be hitting little girls that we love.
No, that's true.
Can you remind me what was it Chachita was talking to him about when he did hit her? Because it was because she wouldn't let something go, right?
Yeah. What was that again?
He killed her mother, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was accusing him.
Yeah. And clearly he and I agree that that's not a good enough reason to smack her or to hit her in the face with his fist. But it was a moment of extremely high emotion for him, and he was, terribly upset because when he'd kind of given everything to protect his sister, her real mother, to be accused of something like that, knowing that he'd been accused of this for years, there'd been this rumour going around about him, to hear that from his own daughter, for whom he was doing everything, must have taken its toll and must have been upsetting for him. And we only found out later just why it was so upsetting. Yeah.
I understand that. I just feel like most of his actions were deeply flawed.
Okay, let's talk about that. What was he doing?
Okay, so I understand the need to protect your child. You don't want to reveal that you're not a real father, that, his sister, whatever. But she was so distraught when she went to her mother's grave and then found out that it wasn't actually a mother's grave, it was just a random person's grave, and come back and pleading for an explanation. Do something better than being like, fuck off, I'll tell you later. Go away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just bad way to deal with it, first of all. So I thought he was continually quite rude to Chachita and dismissive of her, which made her incredibly still upset. And the fact that he was carrying on, well, I suppose he wasn't really carrying on with multiple women, but, he wasn't turning them away either, was he?
I think he was turning them away.
well, he was letting... Who was her friend? Who's Yolanda and who's Celia?
Celia was his girlfriend.
Celia was his girlfriend.
Who lived across the hall. Yolanda was his sister.
Oh, Yolanda, of course, yeah.
Then
who
there
was Celia's
a barmaid.
friend?
Yeah.
Oh, Celia's friend, the very... what's a good word for her?
I think they gave her a word, didn't they?
She was very glamorous, wasn't she? Oh, yeah, what...
I think they might have literally called her like a tramp or something.
Yeah. I don't remember now.
Yeah, I just remember her showering with him with kisses, and him being... He wasn't, indulgent, but he certainly wasn't refusing her in a physical way. I thought. Anyway,
was it
La
Tostada?
Fine.
Who was La Tostada?
Oh, I see La Tostada.
One of the two drunken women, I think.
Okay. Oh, not her. Anyway, yeah, he may be... But he was a gentle soul on the whole. He didn't want to upset anyone. When he was on the phone, he was like, "No, just get up, come on, go away." And he never returned their affections. He didn't kiss these other girls.
Well, he was on the phone to his sister, which is another bone I have to pick with him. Like, you're such a dick. She's clearly she's sorry. He's just cold shouldering her the entire film. I felt sorry for Yolanda.
Yeah, now why was it that he was upset with her?
He blamed her for their mother's condition.
Oh, yeah, which we never quite understood why, right?
Yeah.
Was it because she had become pregnant and had left or something?
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Yeah, probably it was that she had an affair with that man, that wealthy man, and then she left, never let him know that she was pregnant and had Chita on her own, but then abandoned her.
I see. So yeah, I think he should look after his sister, but you can again. It's because he has such a strong moral compass, right? He feels firmly that people should do the right thing, and that's why he was upset with his sister.
That's not a good a world in which no redemption exists.
Yeah,
so maybe this was I wouldn't even blame Yolanda, but I mean, I guess we're all seeing this through our own perspectives, but I don't think she did anything wrong.
Maybe this was a flaw of him, right? That he was unwilling to forgive. This
is what I'm talking about. It's another flaw.
It was just the same. It was just the same with Celia when she kept on insisting, "Tell me who that woman is. Tell me who that woman is."
Exactly.
And he said, "I'll tell you if you ask me once more, but I will never forgive you for not trusting me." And she goes ahead and asks him anyway, and he has this way of saying, I won't forgive you for that ever. And I think Yolanda and Celia even talk later, don't they? And Yolanda says, "My brother doesn't forgive easily. Once he's taken against someone, he never forgets it." And I think that's why that's the reason he has the same thing. He doesn't forgive himself after he strikes Chishita, that way that he just punches the wall and just wrecks his hand, blood everywhere. I think never really forgives himself for that. But this changes by the end. Sorry.
I was just saying that's what Michael's knee looks like now.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Maybe not quite so much blood as all that. But
do you just need a child in the face or something?
I had not. I was telling Fernando I fell over earlier in the garden and it hurt.
No, he's got a skint knee.
Yeah. So I think by the end he's grown enough that he does forgive. He finally does forgive Yolanda, albeit while she's on her deathbed. He forgives Celia, gets back together with her, and I think he does forgive himself in the end. And I think we see him growing in that way. So he's a flawed main character, but I think we have to see him as a protagonist who's basically wants to do the right thing.
Well,
but is human at the same time.
Yeah.
I know you said before you like your villains villainous and your heroes heroic, but
I'm a simple woman. I mean, don't give me complexity, for God's sake.
Life's hard enough.
It is hard enough. Watching films is hard enough, clearly. I really didn't like when he said to Celia, "Don't ask me this," because that's being a bad partner. Like, she's just seen you, another woman's like kissing you all over your face and clinging to you, and everyone talks about the fact that you're a Casanova who gets it off all the time. Like, I just don't. I think that's very gaslighty, and that made me uncomfortable.
You think it's gaslighty? Refusing to answer a question?
Yeah, because it's making her seem like it makes her feel like she's imagining things when she's seeing things with her own eyes. Yeah. He's asking for a leap of, I mean, maybe not quite gaslighty, that's the wrong word, but it's making...
It's still manipulative.
I think it's very manipulative.
You've got to see it from his point of view, though, right? He is resolved to keep Yolanda a secret and nobody must know. And at the same time, he knows that what he's doing is right. All he can do in order to keep both of those things true is to ask Celia to trust him. And if he's decided that he can't possibly... And in the end, he doesn't lie to her even once about what the situation is. All he says is, please trust me, I have a secret that I can't tell you. Stop. And I think he's... Yeah, maybe we could say he's too relentless with his lack of forgiveness towards her. But I don't think he's manipulating her. He's doing the only thing he can under his moral compass.
I don't think the film thinks he's manipulating her. I think I can read it that way through, a modern relationship dynamic. Maybe I'm too like Pepe. I don't forgive.
But what should he have said?
That's my sister. Let's keep it on the DL, shall we?
Yeah, so... In other words, he would have had to reveal this to more people. He would have had to give away this secret.
I mean, the fact that she was his sister wasn't the secret.
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah, he didn't want anyone to know that. I think he didn't want anyone to know he had a sister. Certainly didn't want to know anything about that, because that was one step closer to Chichita finding out, which, from his point of view, couldn't happen because he was trying to protect her.
He should have moved to another city.
Yes.
He should have moved to another country.
He could have taken Pinocchio's green card.
Yeah. El Pinocchio. I liked him.
He cannot tell a lie.
So yeah, I'm saying Pepe el Toro, uncompromising, moral character who I found it very hard to dislike.
Wow. We read that completely differently.
I think I would like to say, I guess, for the record, that I'm with Laura in this. I also felt uncomfortable when he was asking for unwavering trust. I was like, well, maybe you should explain a little bit more. Once now that you've explained that maybe he had a secret and that we should see the situation we should understand him. I guess I can understand him a little bit more, but I still thought that was at least a little bit mean of him to ask for so much blind trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I think it has to come back to he didn't have any other choice except to betray the secret that he was keeping for at least what he saw as a very good reason.
But I think he's shown a lack of trust in her by not revealing the secret to her. He's asking for trust that he's not showing. I think if you're going to have that sort of close, intimate relationships with someone, you have to be willing to share secrets that are only yours if you want them to trust you.
I think so.
Excellent point.
Yes.
But at the same time, he wasn't asking anything of her. He was saying, this is what I can say. This is all I'm going to say. He wasn't saying, you know, you have to marry me and live with me forever or whatever. He's just saying, all I can do is ask you to trust me.
Well, that's asking something of someone. Again, I think if we look at it in context, so. She's just seen what she believes is him, is a woman all over him.
Yeah. But his situation was that if she didn't believe him, she was just going to have to not believe him. I think he was ready to lose Celia over that. Clearly he was, because she demanded to know who that bitch was. And he finished with her. I think it seems to me that he would rather lose his precious Chorreada than betray his sister. And I don't think that's the decision I would take, but I think it's hard to see him as a bad guy for that. But I can see your point. I think when I was watching it to start with, I did kind of think he was a bit of a bad guy, because I did kind of think my guess was that Yolanda was Chachita's mother, but that he was also the father. I wouldn't have guessed that was his sister. And so I thought this was like an affair or something from his past that he was carrying on, and I could see why Celia would think the same. But yeah, I think he was vindicated by the story, and I loved him for it. Plus that moustache and his little smiling face. He was so handsome. And
maybe this is what it comes down to. I didn't find him attractive, so I can't forgive any of his flaws. They should have cast Michael Fassbender. That would
they should have.
Yeah.
Or Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling would have done it well. I want to talk about Chachita.
Oh, me too.
Who, for me, was the best character and the best actor in the film.
Whoa. Even more than Pepe el Toro?
Even more than Pepe el Toro, who I thought they were a brilliant pair.
Even more than La Tostada?
even more than La Tostada. And even more than who I think we were talking about, La que se levanta tarde, which I think means the one who rises late, I guess, meaning...
Wakes up late, yes.
The one who spends all night up with gentleman friends.
The wench.
Who I think was Celia's friend.
I liked her. She was my favourite.
He didn't like her.
I did like her.
She was manipulative.
No, she was a hustler.
She certainly was a hustler. She was constantly trying to talk Celia out of being with Pepe to try and get her for herself.
Nah, she saw that he wasn't good enough for Celia. She had low self-esteem herself, so she was like, this guy's fine for me because he's a dick.
You'll say anything.
I'm not saying it. This is my true opinion.
What a remarkable interpretation of what we saw in that film. She was like the countess in The Sound of Music. Did you think she was like the hero?
She was very beautiful.
She was trying to talk Celia out of being a relationship with Pepe, and it was not because Celia was such a good friend that she didn't want her with this scoundrel, because she was very clearly after Pepe herself.
Yes, well, she's she's a woman of...
So clearly she doesn't think Pepe's such a bad bloke.
Well, that's all about your own, how you view yourself, isn't it?
Is it?
You might take things for yourself that you think are not good for your friends.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to this. This is how I felt during... You've got your heroes and villains mixed up.
Wow. One of us has. Well, leaving her aside, anyway, we have
Chachita.
Chachita. Do you like Chachita?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Claire, Chachita?
Yeah, she was great. I just wanted to give her a big hug and just make everything okay.
Me too. That was my main overriding emotion through the whole film, was just wanting to give Chachita a hug and tell her everything was going to be all right.
What did you think, Fernando?
She was okay. She was constantly overreacting, and she was being unnecessarily mean to everyone.
I sort of felt that by the end. Yeah. Or not by the end.
We have to be more willing to forgive because she's a child, right? Children have trouble with their emotions. They can't sit down the same way we can and say, right, let's think about this logically. Let's think about this from someone else's point of view. And for a child of her age, she was remarkably responsible and selfless, I'm going to say.
What age do we think she was?
I think they said, didn't they? Was she 14, 13? I can't remember now.
I'd have said around that, sort of 12, 13.
Yeah. It's always difficult to tell because, I think she looked a lot older.
How old do you think she looked?
Oh, I think she looked like a 20-year-old.
Really?
Like a short 20-year-old.
No.
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I can tell you that when the film came out, Evita Munoz Chachita was 12.
No way.
Wow.
When it came
I would have
out.
said she was 12.
Apart from anything, she was so short.
Well, yeah, that was the only thing that made me think she was young.
I thought she had a very young face.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait, she was 12?
She was 12 when the film came out, so maybe, I don't know, 11 when they were filming it.
Maybe it was just how she was made up or something. I don't know.
That
She
is so
died
young.
in 2016.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's so recent.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the year everyone died?
It
Yeah, I
was.
suppose so.
Man.
Were any of these famous actors, Fernando?
Yes, so I guess one of the reasons that this film came to my mind in the first place is because this is one of the most famous, well, it's certainly one of the famous films and classic Mexican famous films. And in fact, Pepe El Toro, I believe he is better known for being a singer. So, he's more remembered for being a singer than an actor.
Okay. Yeah, they clearly put him into a few situations where he had to sing, right?
At some point I thought we were watching High School Musical of the past.
It was the High School Musical of its time. Chachita. So I also thought, like in the beginning, I was like, wow, this girl can act. My God, this is some of the best child acting ever. Yeah. And then over the course of maybe the 2 hours, I was like, okay, bit one note.
Yeah, she had one.
Really, really keeping it at this level. I don't know how she's managing. I mean, it must take a fantastic amount of energy to sob like that for presumably weeks on end.
She must have had such bad headaches.
Yeah.
Maybe she just did all of them first take. Just nailed it.
But she was very cute, and I liked her.
She's sweet.
She was mean to people at the time, but I guess you're right. She's a child, and we can forgive.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know. Like, I don't know how good the subtitles were. She was some of it was very. I don't know. I just didn't expect her to be like, "You're not my friend, you bitch."
Yeah, some of what she was saying was quite strong for a child that age.
Yes.
What did you think of the language, Fernando? Was she very rude?
I can't remember specifics about the words she said, but I thought she was rude.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not just us losing something in translation. They've picked up on that.
Anyway, she was lovely. And she did smile here and there, and she had a winning smile as well.
She did have a winning smile.
And I was just so happy when they're a happy family at the end, despite everything.
Yeah. It was a hard journey to get there, certainly.
Yeah, and it was really a bittersweet ending, wasn't it? I was reminded of a Shakespearean tragedy or a Greek tragedy with these sort of multiple devastating deaths at the end. yet it had this pleasing note that we'd lost two characters that we loved, and it was so cruel the way they'd been taken away, but also she had a family now, and finally she had her mother's grave to cry on, which in a way was all she'd hoped for. I thought that was quite beautiful.
It was very poignant.
Yeah.
I didn't quite forget until sort of today. I didn't really forgive the film for taking us on that route.
Oh. Were you the same, Claire?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still quite bitter about it.
Just the devastating stuff with the prison and getting all their stuff stolen, and
that's coming from me. I love a bit of heartbreak. I just don't like being tricked into it.
Yeah, they really hammed it up, didn't they? I mean, the repossessors tipping the grandmother out of her wheelchair so they could get the chair.
It was a tough one.
Bloody hell, what the hell is going to happen?
What kind of world do we live in?
Unfortunately, we know that people's cruelty can be almost infinite, can't it?
Yeah, I suppose it's, it's a...
And then people still do it, don't they? And they watch, like, repossession live or whatever on ITV.
Awful.
Yeah,
just like the poverty porn. It's gross. People take weird pleasure in it.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Should we talk then about the... We're talking about how they're... I'm linking to the next thing I want to talk about. Listen to this.
Are you doing a segue?
I'm doing a segue, a really tasteful, seamless segue. Now that we're talking about how a lot of this was kind of...
Now?
Yeah.
I'm on the segue.
We've been talking about how there were a lot of really, hammed up, turned up to 11 disasters and bits of acting. And that makes me want to talk about... Fernando used the word telenovela at the start there, which is a word I've heard a couple of times, which I think I get. Can you tell us what a telenovela is, Fernando?
Well, I think the literal meaning of the word is just a novel that is told in the form of a TV series. So, presumably all series on Netflix would technically be telenovelas. But the reason I use that word is because I've heard that word used, I guess, in English, but specifically that word untranslated to mean like Mexican series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me it has connotations of sort of daytime soaps.
Yeah.
Which I think are quite often Mexican in the USA, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a lot of Mexican soap operas on, so I guess they're telenovelas, and they have a reputation for this kind of setup, right? A family, stage-like performances and big emotions, big, melodramatic performances, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was a good word to describe. Yeah, the feeling of this film.
Yeah.
Yes, it was rather melodramatic. That would be one of my defining adjectives.
Yes.
Sorry, one of your defining adjectives. What did you say?
Yes, if I was describing this film, if I had to pick an adjective.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not one of Laura's defining
adjectives.
Oh.
No, one of your defining adjectives for the film.
For the film. And also in life. I know. What the fuck? You bitch.
Is it worth saying that the word melodramatic comes from melodramas, right? Was this a melodrama?
Yeah.
It was like a sort of Victorian theatrical performance that had these kinds of things, right? Big disasters happening to people's lives and people, sobbing hysterically on the stage, which I think was a theatrical tradition that maybe made its way to the screen just a little bit. and maybe this was a good example of that. I don't really know enough about it, though. Does anyone know more about melodrama?
Not really. What's vaudeville?
Oh, vaudeville.
Is that like the opposite, or is that this? That's a genre of theatre, isn't it? Like an 1800s kind of...
Yeah. Isn't that like a variety show, vaudeville?
That's what I was going to suggest. I think that makes it correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we both agree.
Yeah.
What a wonderful word. I don't know what it means.
Vaudeville, yeah. Yeah, so there'd be like music hall performances, right? Just little songs, and then we'd have a bit of dancing, and then there'll be maybe a scene from a play, and then we'll have another song. And,
I just imagine men in top hats coming downstairs when I think
vaudeville.
of vaudeville.
Yeah, okay.
Is that a word of French origin?
Yeah.
It must
be.
Mm.
Maybe I'm getting it mixed up with maudlin. God, I'm not good with my words.
Oh, maudlin, which means moody, right?
Yeah. I don't know words. That's what we're...
Okay. Anyway, so we all love Chichita.
It went from a vaudeville to a maudlinville.
Vaudeville, more like Maudlinville.
Thank you. That was better.
It wasn't. Anyway, I'm glad we all agreed on a character that we like, even if we're still split on Pepe.
Yes.
Can we agree on Don Pilar?
Who would?
Was that the
bad guy?
The hunk.
I think Don Pilar was the hunky man who was very rich, and
really?
who
was Don Pilar not Celia's stepdad?
Yeah, I thought it was Celia's dad. That's what
Oh yeah, he wasn't great either.
He's the one that stole the money. He caused it all.
Oh yeah, that was him.
Yeah, good villain.
Yeah, hell of a villain. That was who you needed. Yeah, no questions there. Completely dreadful, start to finish.
Yeah.
Which as we said before, I quite like a complicated villain. I guess we have a little complication with him, which is that he was facing all the same pressures that they were. He was poor just the same, and he was doing what he needed to get by. But he was doing it with a certain relish that made it hard to forgive him. He was a nasty
tormented.
man. Yeah,
that was good.
Oh yeah, his madness with seeing the grandma staring at him was quite something. Reminded me of The Telltale Heart. Just him driven mad by this accusing evidence of his crime.
You're all about the 19th century classics, aren't you, today?
Wow, it's hard to when you're as familiar with the greats as I am. It's hard to turn it off, Claire.
Why don't you tell us about Moby Dick, Michael?
Well, let me tell you all about Moby Dick. Actually, I'm going to say this was not really a film that applies to Moby Dick, right?
Oh,
is it time?
It's time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Such a lovely sound.
So we've done that in preparation for me saying, I don't think this was related to Moby Dick. That was a symbol I did not find.
You are not trying hard enough.
Apparently.
All the time I was watching the film, I thought of Moby Dick. I couldn't think of anything else. Apart from
talk us through it, Fernando.
I've not even read Moby Dick. I don't know anything.
None of us have.
Well, he's called the Bull, which is a big animal.
Nice.
Like Moby Dick's a whale.
Yeah.
She's a big animal.
So he's Moby Dick. I guess
Captain
that
Ahab must be Celia.
Yolanda. Oh, or Celia, yeah. Yeah, they were pursuing him with the intensity of
Yep, so Ahab.
Works if Captain Ahab was in love with the whale, which I think is a very valid interpretation.
Based on... Can we just make a pact that like none of us will ever read Moby Dick? 'Cause
I think we can say that fairly confidently that I'm not going to.
I was tempted to. I needed a new book.
I was tempted
downloaded
to.
It.
Yeah. But I think you're
if
right.
we do, we all have to.
Yeah, okay. Maybe that's what I'll pick for my next film.
The book Moby Dick.
Well, Del Toro, Bibby, is definitely Jesus. I mean, there's no ways around that. He's sacrificing his happiness to try and protect Chichita.
Yeah, he takes everything on himself. He's wrongly persecuted, thrown in prison, beaten, nearly killed, and only at the very end of everything is he finally shown to be right.
I think the wealthy lawyer's Jesus. No, I'm taking the piss. But that makes, if Pepe's Jesus, then Celia's friend is Mary Magdalene.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, and he shows kindness to her, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Doesn't tell her to get the fuck out of here. He just tolerates her.
That's what Chichita would have said, though.
Yeah, but literally.
Yeah.
And he's a carpenter.
Oh my god, he is a carpenter.
How did we miss that until this?
Oh, is this deliberate? Is this an actual one?
I don't think so.
No.
I think there are just carpenters in the
Some
world.
people are just carpenters.
Carpenters must be so sick of the Jesus analogies.
Yeah. I just want to cut wood, man.
That's their cross to bear, I suppose. I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, that's very good. I wasn't really keeping it. It's difficult to keep an eye out for symbolism when it's when the drama's so high. You know, you sort of miss what's going on in the background, objects that might come into focus.
I feel like the hand wound might be a recurring
that was a good
motif.
One. Yeah, we did a bit of symbolism on that.
I think I'm
as a symbol of his guilt, wasn't it?
Yeah, and his regret, like the pain he was experiencing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Is there something in the paralytic in her paralysis, and is that a social commentary maybe?
Ooh.
Like, they can't move in the world, they can't move up in life. She sees this crime being committed against her, but she's helpless.
Can't do anything about it.
Stop it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Is that symbolic of the poor seeing themselves being
robbed? That's
robbed?
great. Yeah, that's right. That's the best one we've had for years.
You pick one thing, you say it represents a film.
But that's the best one since Laura said that the plants are dicks. In Mutiny on the Bounty.
Thank you, jeez. Okay, so her mother's grave, the fact that it was a sham, was kind of a symbol for the sham life that they were leading. Yeah, that's when it all started breaking down, didn't it?
Yeah.
When that was revealed.
Yeah.
The facade was
just a lie that was materially present in the wrong grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do much on the Day of the Dead, Fernando? Is that a big thing in Mexico still?
That is certainly a big thing in Mexico. I don't do much of it because I don't like religious things. People tend not to think of it as a religious day, but it is a religious day. So I don't particularly like it, but many people here in Mexico do like it a lot.
Yeah, okay. And it's kind of a Christian tradition, right? Or at least it's compatible with Christian traditions. Yeah.
Well, yes. I don't think I know everything about it, but I do believe it has to do with All Saints' Day. I don't even know what that is. But what did people do in here in the Day of the Dead? Well, they go to the cemetery and they clean the grave and they adorn it with flowers. And they light candles, and they also have like a mini altar at their house, which they put pictures and food, and that's what they do.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah, that was an interesting backdrop. Oh, go on, sorry, Fernando.
Now, I'm not sure if they pray, but they probably do pray. That was the last thing I was going to say.
Yeah, or they get taken along on a magical adventure to the world of the dead. Where they learn
the magic guitar.
Yes, with the magic guitar. Their possible father is actually a sham figure who murdered your actual father.
Fernando didn't like Coco.
I did not like Coco.
Yeah.
I loved Coco.
Will there be a Coco part 2?
I wonder.
Oh, probably. Cool. In 20 years, they'll do a CGI version of it.
You mean live action?
Yeah, maybe it'll swung all the way round. They'll be making crappy live action versions of all the beloved CGI Disney films. Anyway, that's cool. Chachita had this real connection to all the saints, didn't she?
Oh, yes.
Was that?
Oh, yes, she did.
Maybe because she didn't have a mother? Was it because she was looking around for someone else for guidance?
I think she was just a good Christian.
Maybe that.
Yeah, I think she was just more religious than... Yeah, she was religious.
Yeah, which I think was another... For the filmmakers, that was a reason we were meant to like her, right? That she was devout and she was a good girl and she, respected all the saints and stuff. It was nice.
Very earnest.
Yeah, that's right. Have you guys heard of this saint that you're supposed to ask for the opposite of what you want?
No, but I like that.
That was kind of cool. I wonder if that's real.
Yeah, I know very little about any religious practice.
Yeah, okay. It's an interesting thing. They say a lot of the whole thing with different saints that you ask for whatever is in many ways the same as a polytheistic religion with many, many gods that you pray to for different things. It's just, only subtly different in a way if you think about it.
I think in my third year anthropology tutorial, they told us that's why Christianity was so successful in South America. But the woman who told us that was very white and very Christian, so slightly
I guess
biased.
she was just talking shit then.
Yes, I guess so. But, it's very easy to accept Christianity when you've got a polytheistic religion anyway, which the Incas had in Peru.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I'm
But
going to be.
That has nothing to do with Mexico, so I don't know why I brought that up.
Well, it'd be hard to say it had nothing to do with Mexico. Was that Fernando?
Would it be Christianity itself or Catholicism, which encourages you to believe in the saints and
Catholicism,
things of the like? Because there are certain, I'm going to say, sects, branches of Christianity that encourage you to not believe in the saints and only worship God. Yeah,
just about every Protestant denomination does not really revere saints. I think it's mostly a Roman Catholic and Orthodox tradition, which I guess is just about every Christian up until 1400 or so. But yeah, there wouldn't be many Anglicans with 15 different saints around their walls praying to them all. Yeah. No, that's an interesting thought though. That it may have been, it may have fit in better in countries that they were trying to convert from polytheistic religions. We know this went back to. There was a lot of this in the Roman Empire, right? If they were trying to conquer somewhere and trying to get the local people to to start doing things the Roman way, they would identify all of their gods and decide which Roman gods those were, and just say, oh yeah, actually we have that one as well. We just call it this instead, and take on a bit of the way that the people there were worshipping whoever, but try and give it a Roman flavour. I wonder if it's a similar kind of thing.
Those tricksy Romans.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really know about South America though, and Mexico. Was there much of a sort of process of integrating with the pre-Columbian people, or was it more of a kind of wipe them out and?
Perhaps I should know this better, given that I'm reading a book about it.
Maybe when you get to the end, you'll find out.
I think it was more or less both. Well, it depended on who was trying to teach. Want to say that is Jesuit a word? I think it was the Jesuits who were trying to teach kindly the natives their new religion, and they were trying to incorporate certain aspects of the indigenous religions with Christianity. But it was the other ones, I guess, the Catholics, who were a little bit more aggressive.
The Jesuits were not Catholics?
Oh, the Jesuits are not Catholic? Are Catholic or not Catholic? I just don't know.
I'm asking. I thought they were, but...
I don't know who the Jesuits are.
Okay. But anyway, you say that many of the Catholics were more about just sort of conquering and wiping out, whereas the Jesuits were about trying to integrate and trying to influence. Is that what you mean? I think
it's also a little bit confusing because so many people died of disease that that I'm not sure if it was all violence.
Yeah. So, well, this is what I'm thinking about in what became the United States. Something like 95% of the indigenous population died of diseases and other dreadful things, and there wasn't really much of a population left to try and integrate with, right? But maybe it was a little different further south.
No, I mean, at least in Mexico also, there is not many people agree on what percentage of the population died of disease, but some people believe that as much as 90% of the population died of disease.
Right.
So I wonder, for the people that are left, could it be said that they were forced into believing something else, or there were so few that it was much easier to adopt a new belief system?
Yeah. Were they quickly outnumbered by European settlers, maybe?
Maybe they were, except why are there so many indigenous people still? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't have to know everything, do we? Anyway, interesting idea.
I could dredge up some third-year anthropology stuff on Peru if you want, but I don't think that would be very relevant.
Yes, I think I would be interested to know.
Right, an hour 7, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah, we could just have a little seminar next episode, next meeting.
Yeah, based on what I remember from how many years ago was that?
Yeah, you're not allowed to look at notes.
We can all go away and read about it, and we'll come back and have a nice discussion.
Okay. There was some guy called Atahualpa, that's what I remember. Probably not pronouncing that right, but Atahualpa. That was even worse. I think we should stop this now.
The key with pronunciations you're not sure of is just to say it once confidently, and most people won't know the difference, and people who do will think, fine.
I feel like I did that once, and then I tried to do it in the accent, but lost confidence halfway through, and then realised I was being offensive, so
oh no!
I'd like to end this.
No, you just got to commit.
I think he was beheaded. Anyway.
Oh man.
Let's talk about this later. Anything else on the film? Who else I have no more thoughts on the film.
The last person I want to talk about actually is two people, which were the two ladies who like to drink.
I loved them.
Who, I thought they were a really interesting little addition. What you liked them, Laura?
Yeah.
Yeah. Claire?
Yeah, I liked them.
Yeah. Fernando, did you like the two drunk
I
ladies?
ended up liking them, but I did not like them at first.
Do you know, I was the same. I wasn't taking it first, but I ended up liking
They grew on me.
Yeah, they were quite sweet. Maybe a bit stereotypical, but I feel like they were just bumbling along. Like they were quite innocent. They weren't harmful.
Yeah,
they did a bit of harm, but not really, not on purpose.
Hardly.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly just doing them, weren't they? But at the same time, I thought they were slightly tragic figures.
Yeah.
There was this feeling again once we'd begun to zoom out and we'd begun to think of the poor and the whole wider social story of this film, I couldn't help but feel a bit sorry for them, that they were kind of just wasting their lives and would never really be able to get out of it probably, and that they were just terribly confused most of the time. Bit like Waiting for Godot. Could I just throw one more in there? Throw in one other classic work of literature that I haven't read.
It's a bit like A Murder is Announced by Agatha Christie.
It reminded me of the sort of 7th volume of War and Peace. If you cast your minds back. So I just wanted to say that about them because but overall they were fun, and they were at times a much needed bit of comic relief. But they didn't completely escape from the message of the film.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, I think they just show that substance use is a way of engaging with life. In certain, I've lost it. I felt like I had to say something about drinking. Well, I do think it's. I mean, that's the way I would put it. It's a means of engaging with the world. That's what I was saying, and tempering the harshness of extreme poverty. Basically, what you just said, but I've decided to say it again.
No, I didn't say tempering the harshness of extreme poverty. I'd love to have said that.
What was that, Claire?
I was just saying how much I agree with what you said, and only you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think she was talking to me, Laura.
Oh, well. Prove it.
I don't have any other thoughts on the film.
Nor I. Good
Except
film.
that it was great, and I'm really glad we watched it.
Yeah, it was a good film.
Yeah, we got you.
Well, on the topic of substance abuse, I did not like that the villain was a villain and at the same time he was smoking cannabis. Because I think that once again, that criminalizes the user.
Yeah.
Who was smoking cannabis?
I think, you
Don
reminded
Pilar?
me that maybe that's his
Don
name.
Pilar, the next door neighbour.
Yes.
I don't either, but that's a good point, I think, about, we associate drug use with villainy.
Yeah.
Which is very stigmatizing.
But alcohol is just comic relief from life.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Was he maybe smoking cannabis to lead as a plot point to lead on to his paranoia?
It was. You're not. It's not paranoia if they're out to get you.
Yes, maybe it was. It's just that I disagree that they use the cannabis to enhance their plot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. What was the status of cannabis in Mexico at that time? Was it illegal?
Yes.
Is it legal now?
It's a little bit confusing. I think it is legal now.
Okay.
I believe it is legal now. There are certainly places where you can smoke it and nobody will say anything, not even the police.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
I have one complaint that's kind of... It didn't ruin the film for me, but I feel like it should have been addressed, and that is that the grandmother had no way of communicating at all.
Oh, you're come up with a blinking system, for God's sake.
Like, at some point, someone must have thought, I need to know if she needs some water. And that's all it would have taken, and the whole film would have unravelled.
Yes, I mean, I did not think of that, but now that you mention it, they probably should have put like the same wheelchair that Stephen Hawking used would have been very useful.
They should have, shouldn't they?
Yes.
That would have been much better.
That would have been very useful.
Another commentary on poverty.
Yeah. Perfect. Think back to Awakenings, though. We know there are people sometimes who, for whatever reason, cannot communicate in any way. She didn't seem to play that in such a way, and she seemed like she was... Yeah, she seemed like she could have blinked or whatever, but...
Yeah, I think she was alert to the world. She was paralysed.
Yeah.
From the neck down.
I wonder if there are conditions where you could see the world around you but not be able to communicate in any way. We know that people are mute, for example, for all sorts of different reasons. And perhaps some of those preclude other methods of communicating. I don't know. Maybe it was just
I mean, she was definitely trying to communicate by staring and with her eyes, I think.
Yeah, no, you're right, aren't you?
That would have been the film would have been over.
Yeah.
Would have just gone and demanded his money back from that guy.
Yeah, Don Pilar sneaking through and being all smart, and then her just grabbing a pen and just jotting down. The guy across the hall freaking stole all the money. By the way, your mother is alive.
How long would it have taken to blink that? That would have been the rest of the film.
Yeah, just blinking.
Excellent.
Morse code blinking.
She had a rough end. I didn't like that. I thought it was very unfair for her,
Oh, terribly unfair, wasn't it?
Sort of plot device of this poor old disabled woman. It was just
we don't know her past.
True.
Maybe she was a real wrong-un.
Yeah, that's true. Well, she raised Pepe for one thing.
Yeah, and Yolanda.
Well,
she had TV, so can't trust her.
But yes, it was terribly unfair, wasn't it? Really, really stung, and for her to die at the same time as Yolanda was heartbreaking.
Yeah. Oh, that scene. That was
brutal.
Absolutely awful.
And actually, curiously, I think Pepe and Chichita each sort of held their respective mother as she died, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, that's intense.
Which sort of reflected everything quite well. Something very poetic about it.
Why did Yolanda die? What was her ailment?
She had consumption, didn't she?
Yeah, tuberculosis.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that what Anne Hathaway dies of in Les Miserables?
I don't remember. I don't think it's quite clear what she dies of in Les Miserables, is it?
It was consumption.
It's always Anne Hathaway. Consumption.
Oh, is it consumption? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's...
It all fits. Oh, Les Miserables is just a bloody rip-off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just change a couple of the locations, character names.
Victor Hugo just watching a whole load of
Mexican telenovelas, yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Shall I play the music?
Please. Oh,
Is that the honorary member?
That is Rebecca.
Bless her. How's she doing?
She's well, thank you. Although I think that nobody should have babies. They're just too loud.
Yeah.
And annoying.
They're so cute.
God,
They are more annoying than cute.
What would Pepe say about you if he heard you saying that?
He would say, "You're so right." I know it's
I've had to raise on for years, and it's a nightmare.
Yes.
She does cry a lot, to be fair. Still nice to hear her.
Shall Fernando just count us in?
Yeah, please.
Okay, is it 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1?
Whichever you like.
It's up to you.
Dealer's choice. Do it in French if you like.
0, 1, 2.
Scissors.
Can we try again?
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm not a
Paper.
rock. Christ. Hang on, Claire didn't say anything.
I said rock.
Did
yeah,
you?
so I've
Oh, I
won
didn't
it.
hear
I've
that.
won it.
Wait, if Claire said... Oh, okay. Fair enough, yeah. Can't argue with that logic.
Yeah. And do I have a film for you?
Ooh.
Do you?
Is it The Bounty?
It's not The Bounty.
No.
We've still got a little while. Don't worry, that's coming. It's a film from a few years ago. It's a film with Sean Connery in it.
Finding Forrester.
Dr. No.
Dr. No. Brilliant.
1962.